My plan is to use an electric motor that is solar powered that I can use to just taxi around and stuff. This is what I'd plan to set up. Got this old British Seagull motor. I think it does run, but the whole crank's loose on it. She's pretty flogged out. I've got another one I can use this for parts, but I might pull it apart and use the shaft for an electric version. Oh yeah. Okay, I've got this motor here. I've already fried one of these controllers, but I've still got this one that works. I was thinking I could put this motor on here. I used a lathe at work to make an 8mm adapter to fit the drive shaft. I make it a tight fit and then weld it in. Then I 3D print a motor mount and make an aluminium base all held together with threaded rod. Back at work I use the mill to cut channels for water for a heat sink. Then weld the two plates together. And clean the edge up. Then drill into the channels and tap. And I make some little hose tail out of bolts for the rubber pipes to go onto. Then a container to keep the controller dry. And I use a servo tester for the throttle. The scraping you can hear is a fan in the housing to keep the motor cool. It's good to see the impeller is still working. Someone has repaired this in the past, but I need to expose the tube so the rubber hose will fit. Now that everything is working, I solder the wires and seal them with silicone. We've got the silicone drying on here. We've got the Ecoflow is charging my battery, so this is my plan. I got this from a sponsor a while ago and it's super good. You can run all your power tools off it. Sun's charging it up, and then that is charging my battery that I got. It's a 48 volt, has 130 of these 18650 cells in here, some in parallel and some in parallel, and what is the other word? It's not flickering in real life, but that's drawing 180 watts, and I'm only getting 28 in at the moment because the sun's quite low and it's winter. But yeah man, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait. I've taken this thing in the water already. I mean, it goes well. Doesn't look very nice. It just needs a few more improvements before I take it out. And then I can test the motor. Okay, all back together. And now, this is all it does again. This thing is cursed. Why does it do this? I couldn't work out what the problem is with the motor, so I took it into work for the electricians to have a look at and decided to get the boat ready for summer. I found the tyres had some cracks, so I was going to change them. Look how badly this one is just from letting the air out, just about to fall apart. They are a strange size rim that doesn't fit the hub properly, and they are rusty inside. So I decided to put these other hubs and stubs on that I have. Squared this up off this piece of wood, off this axle. Needs to go back a bit. So this side is all together, and I've got a piece of wood clamped to the rim. It's actually clamped to the tyre, but it's bottomed out on the rim here, so it should be pretty straight. Then I've got another piece of straight steel clamped to this hub, and I'll just measure between them. I can already see it's not straight. So we're about 15 mil out already. I'll straighten it up a bit. I've got that within 2 mil now, so I'll weld it off. I've got 2 welds around there with the stick, and I've just put these 3 gussets, same as I've done the other side, and I'll weld those off too, just for extra strength. I've had this motor in at work, and I've had the electricians had a look at it, and I think the reason why it wasn't working is the battery was overcharging. So what I'm doing now is I've just got the grinder running off it. Since it's a universal motor in the grinder, it can run off DC. So I'm just discharging the battery a bit, see if it fixes it. Okay, here's my multimeter hooked up, and the screen's gone out on it. I think it is saying 52. I need to get it down to 51 before it will work. Because I think this controller has a cutout at 51. If it's over that, it goes beep beep beep. That's what it was doing. Okay, I've been running the drop saw now for about an hour, and it's hard to tell, but I think we've dropped down to 50 or 51 or 50. And there we go, it worked. All this time, that's all it was. Whoa! This thing's almost got too much power. Sounds bad when you rev it up too much. It's working. We used my 5 horsepower Mercury motor to get out and away from the boat ramp. Then we used the electric Seagull outboard. We trawled for Kauai on the way out. It was quite windy and choppy, but it worked really well. Since this boat is a displacement hull, it will only ever go a certain speed, and more power wouldn't go too much faster, so maybe the limit would be about 15k, I'd guess, whereas a planing hull you can go as fast as you like. Oh, didn't like that for some reason. Here is roughly where we travelled with the electric outboard. Sadly, we didn't catch any fish, but it was a great day out. It didn't do that much filming, and sorry about the wind noise in some of the shots. Okay, we found out what the noise is. Someone got their line tangled around it, and it was probably flicking up and hitting here or something. So I think it's all good. So we haven't used hardly any power, still nearly at 50 volts. We started beyond those boats way over there in the distance, so we've come quite a long way. Ecoflow battery's full, solar's topping it up, and I can just recharge this battery. I'm drawing 240 watts and getting in about 180. Alright, we've just landed on an island here. The kids have been going for a swim. We're back on the gas motor and we're going to do some fishing until dark. Hopefully we catch something. No fish so far. I would have liked to have used the electric Seagull a bit more, but it was quite rough for the harbour coming back in and we didn't want to have any issues. Okay, so it was more than just the sinker flapping around on the prop. If you look in here, you can see the coupling is totally squashed. I'll take this apart and show you guys. There's the problem. With this little motor, I only ever got to about 3/4 throttle and it was going the same speed that the 5 horsepower Mercury was going. So there's a lot of power in this little thing. I could hear a noise and it was obviously this coupling. This was about a $2 Chinese coupling. So I need to find a better Lovejoy coupling. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next one.